Whether you're fighting, healing, caregiving, treating cancer, or simply searching for hope, this space is for you. Welcome to FU Cancer, where meaningful conversations meet powerful community. I'm your host, a registered dietitian and cancer advocate, and together, we're turning challenges into connection. Check out our platform on the web at fucancer.health. Welcome back. Today's episode explores the science and practice of exercise oncology and how targeted physical activity can support cancer treatment, recovery, and long-term health. We discuss the role of aerobic endurance, strength training, and personalized exercise prescriptions in improving treatment tolerance, enhancing quality of life, and supporting long-term survivorship. I'm joined by Rudolfs Cešeiko, an exercise oncology expert and the founder of the Exercise Oncology Clinic in Riga, Latvia. Dr. Cešeiko has developed both clinical and community-based protocols in the field of exercise oncology, integrating scientific evidence with real-world clinical practice. His work spans clinical trials, personalized exercise planning, and translating research into accessible programs for people living with and beyond cancer. In addition to his clinic leadership, Dr. Cešeiko collaborates on European-level initiatives, including partnerships with organizations such as Outdoor Against Cancer, while also maintaining his primary focus on advancing clinical exercise oncology in Latvia and internationally. Through his research, clinical expertise, and commitment to patient-centered practice, Dr. Cešeiko is helping shape the future of exercise oncology from both medical and community perspectives. And first off, we're so grateful and lucky to have you on here with us. I'd love for you to open up and share a little bit about your own personal experience and journey and really what inspired you to create the Exercise Oncology Clinic.
Hello, thank you for a great introduction. That was beautiful. The exercise oncology as an umbrella topic is what shaped my career and is still shaping. And I'm very, very happy to be part of this wonderful journey, wonderful movement, practical field, also including scientific field. And it started more than 15 years ago when I was diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And at that time, I kind of felt in an intuitive way that exercise might be valuable during the treatment because I'm very close with the sports. And I did exercise. And it was intuitive. I didn't know what to do exactly, how many minutes and what kind of intensity should I be keeping, and regarding the strength training, what kind of weights, how many repetitions. I would just went with the flow, and it turned out to be the right choice. And from that, my experience, my journey led to the studies, to the research, to PhD field, and accumulating all this experience, here we are today.
Wow. Well, thank you so much kind of for sharing your personal story and opening up in that way too. And I think a lot of the questions you just stated around where to start, what matters, how much to do, I hear that all the time from a clinical lens of a lot of patients asking that and just really don't know where to begin. So I'd love to hear, what challenges are you finding that people with cancer face when it comes to staying active throughout both treatment and survivorship and recovery?
Yes, certainly. And these are the questions that come up every day, every time we meet new patients or people that are willing to open to exercise. And at least here in the Baltics and in Europe, we still face with a lot of uncertainty that people still mix that exercise. It's a sport. So it's either a long jump, high jump, playing basketball, or playing rugby. And we have really tried to do a lot. And the doctors help us that we try to shift this perspective that it's not sport. And we do not always engage in a sport. It's structured exercise regime, structured exercise. And that first understanding changes the direction completely. And then we go deeper and then we try to dissect what is the exercise and what kind of parts exercise consists of. And we do it in both directions to the patients, and also the similar explanation is very beneficial for the doctors that work in oncology field. And Latvia is a relatively small country, therefore we are very successful connecting all the leading experts, and therefore the information spreads out relatively easily. And that is the first thing, just to put the concepts, the right explanations in a proper order.
I love that. So it's almost like a mindset shift of not thinking exercise has
Yes.
to be this structured sport, whether
Hmm.
it's with a basketball or whatever it may be, soccer, football, and thinking of it more as like structured movement of getting the body stronger through structured activity rather than this coordinated sport.
Yeah.
That's such a great outlook. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, one of my backgrounds are exercise physiology, and
Yeah.
the great leaders of exercise physiology, the great scientists many years ago, have very nicely, in a very good way, have explained the details of the exercise, and therefore we can even break down to smaller details, and then it comes out. So either we need to focus to aerobic endurance training, so therefore you pay attention to your heart, lungs,
Yeah.
blood vessels, mitochondria, and so on. And the other cardinal component is muscles, so maximal muscle strength. And therefore, there are two things that we need to take care of. And science right now is just beautiful, and we to just adjust and make good decisions what fits in a specific context, considering every individual that goes through the cancer journey.
Yeah, and exercise oncology is such a booming field with so much new research. So, kind of,
Yeah.
as exercise oncology as a whole, if you will, why do you think this kind of like structured or targeted exercise, or what are you learning about from the literature or research is so uniquely powerful? Like, why is it so powerful to do during cancer care?
Mm, we typically look in the two categories. First of all, what it does to you, to person mentally, because there's something changing when you allow yourself to be available to movement, and you say yes. I remember from my personal journey when I go through the cancer, so that you allow a couple of minutes, especially first part of the session, just light intensity aerobic exercise. Either it's a walking, cycling, or you can use a treadmill, walking outdoors, beautiful. You just give a couple of minutes just to warm up. And it's interesting, it's the body starts to open up physically and also the mentally. And then the next thing, you can move to the more specific and more structured exercise direction. And other things, of course, are those physiological benefits. So if you put the exercise in the front line, and if you do it often, a couple of times per week, there will happen some changes. And if you can add effective exercise, those changes will be present. That is true. So there are two aspects that we try to operate, and in these two directions we do the studies in here in Latvia.
Awesome. And I know you touched a little bit about how physical activity and structured exercise can impact emotional or mental health. Can you elaborate a little bit on that and really some of the impacts that we've seen and how far exercise can go with supporting somebody's mental health or emotional health?
Yes, I have a privilege to see these changes daily, both in a clinical setting when people come to more private, more structured exercise sessions. And then the next thing is how to implement these exercise strategies in the community. And actually, we had a great exercise session today in Latvia. That was the session 136. So, and that's what keeps me in this field, and what drives me forward is this shift, what happens with the people when the person face a challenging health situation. And the first thing is they start to feel and appreciate their own body. So very often they think that it's the body is against them, the body has failed them, and that is not necessarily true. The body actually is your best friend, and right now it's time to really kind of match together and respect the mind and the body. And exercise is a wonderful tool who can help that. And we see these things in both in a clinical setting, also and doing the community related trainings. And people start to really appreciate the journey. They shift the focus not from the victim perspective, but from okay, this is my responsibility, and I'm gonna take over. I will try to do my best, and I will start with exercise. And as you know, there are a lot of information nowadays available that makes a lot of noise. We try to reduce. Let's focus on exercise, and other things will follow. Yeah, it's beautiful to see it. That gives me a lot of energy.
Wow, such a blend between, figuring out the emotional side of things, the mental health side of things, the physical side of things, the functional side of things, and how structured activity can really play a role in so many different
Yeah.
areas for people. I think
Hmm.
more people need to hear that, which is exactly why we're doing this episode, just to kind of
Hmm.
dive into it, to really see some of those benefits and how people can get started. So thank you for that. And you've
Yeah,
also mentioned
exactly.
yeah, yeah. And you've also
Hmm.
mentioned your exercise oncology clinic and how you're supporting individuals. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that work and how people in different stages of their journey get involved and really what you guys are doing.
Hmm. Yeah, in an exercise oncology clinic, the exercise part actually is the easiest part. The challenging part actually is to have a guts and to visit us at the first exercise session, because it takes a lot of courage, and I understand, and we respect that, especially if the person goes through the cancer, and if you are in the middle of the chemotherapy. So we celebrate the first opening visit. We go through the specific stages. We collect medical history. We talk a lot. We examine each and every individual at the different aspects, exercise experience, treatment regime, age, and other health issues. And then we gradually try to introduce what is the main idea of the exercise. And we give actually, in the first exercise session, we give a taste. What the exercise session will look like a framework. And also the good thing is that our exercise sessions do not change a lot, because it's not an entertainment in a one way. All the setting in the clinic is very positive and supportive, but the exercise we keep structured, relatively easy, organized. It's effective, it's safe, and it gives us the results. And therefore, patients kind of know what we expect. They know what they can do, and it's not going to be, any kind of different exercise movements unexpected. We integrate many different things, but generally it's well organized and well structured, and we have specific order, and we can adapt our framework depending on the situation where the patient is. So if the energy level is not very high today, we adjust things. But again, we try to reach at least some threshold minimum that kind of shift inner changes in our system, either biological or something within the muscles or the nervous system or the oxygen delivery. So, and around that we operate, and it's structured in two parts. Generally, the first part of the session is covered by the aerobic endurance training. We use higher intensity intervals. Yes, that works very good.
All the fun
And of
of it,
course,
yep.
yes,
Very
exactly,
effective
exactly.
though.
You're absolutely right. And the second part is the maximal strength training, and that is the one of the core components that we try to use as early as possible, even a couple of days post surgery, when we have a green light from the surgeon, so that we can implement. And that actually was based from my PhD studies, where we tried to lift heavy weights, few repetitions, but with a maximal mobilization of the force. And it do not increase fatigue, but increase significantly the maximal muscle strength. Yes, the cancer treatment very often reduces the typical effects of the exercise, but therefore we need to play around intensity, and we have kind of figure out through these years those important aspects. And then it's a cool down. It's you cool down, you breathe, everything is okay, it's safe. We get the feedback, and we kind of put the plan for the next exercise session.
I love, so it sounds really progressive. You've got a really nice structure. You've also got that
Yeah.
personalization as far as where people are coming from, what time point in their journey, which I think is such an important component of it because everyone's so different, as you know. Can
Yeah.
you share a story or an impact that you've had in your experience with your clinic that really captures like the impact of what exercise oncology can actually do to somebody or their experience?
Um, yeah, and I'm quite lucky that I'm the one who started this all the movement in Latvia in the Baltics. First thing when I did my PhD in oncology clinic in the leading oncology clinic in Latvia, I gradually noticed the openness and interest from the medical doctors. And through those conversations, I saw the shift that they actually start to, wow, where you been, you know? Why didn't you come a little bit earlier? This is so valuable. And through these first clinical trials that we did in Latvia and together with my colleagues in Norway, me personally and the doctors saw that the patients actually really enjoy it and everything is okay with the patients. Those were breast cancer patients during the chemotherapy and the feedback from the patients that they were more empowered. We did the training in a small groups so that the people can train, couple of people can train per one strength training machine. So it was the interaction between them. The feedback was so valuable and positive that it just exploded around the hospital and then through the country. And then taking these results and data from personal experiences, our clinical trials and data available, a lot of people continued the journey in Exercise Oncology Clinic, and we have a data that people come 8 years. They are healthy. They have finished their treatment
Wow.
many years ago. They still come. They believe in exercise. They are not afraid of, let's say, of the community of the people that still are going through the treatment. They actually encourage each other, and these moments that's shift everything. And actually, when the doctors say to the patient, "Congratulations, your treatment is over. You're a healthy person," although we understand that it's takes a lot mentally to be in this position, and you need to always take care of your health. And those stories from the people, that's what inspires, and that's what keeps me going and my team going, and even more. The one thing is when we work in an exercise oncology clinic, but we have shifted the structured exercise session outdoors, where we organize group training sessions. And this is what I don't know, the vibration in the air is different when all the group meets. Approximately 40 to 50 people show up every time in multiple European cities, in Riga, and Outdoor Against Cancer is doing that in Munich and other German cities. And the feedback and encouragement and support and the strength and the mental resilience is huge. And therefore we keep doing this and we will do it even more.
First off, wow. And thank you for everything that you've put together and done, and what an impact that this has on people's
Yeah.
lives and from time of diagnosis through survivorship, which leaves me wondering, why is this not everywhere? And why are these types of programs and clinics not available in kind of this mainstream look? Like, what barriers are you seeing, whether it's systemic or whether it's participation or it's stakeholder buy-in? What are you seeing most often
Mhm.
as being a barrier to getting these types of programs widely available?
I think the field needs more people like you and me and colleagues from Outdoor Against Cancer who helps to spread the word. And still, the lifestyle factors in oncology setting are relatively new, and there are still kind of barrier that there are prescribed treatment, which helps, which works, but there are those lifestyle modifications. And then exercise actually is it is kind of a lifestyle modification, but it is in a treatment guidelines. Now, a couple of days ago in ESMO guidelines, they included
Yeah.
exercise is part of the treatment, so there are no questions anymore. The thing is, so it's still in the thinking that exercise, it's kind of sport related. Either it's track and field, Olympic weightlifting. So it's on that direction. It's driven to results, to competition. But if you package exercise and you think about the bone health and the bone density and the how fast the nervous system can activate all the muscle fibers, it's changed the story. Another thing for the medical doctors, this type of information, this type of data just simply do not circulate in their literature. They read their protocols,
Sure.
which is understandable, and in the midst of all the work that they do, and they're very busy, it simply do not see this data. Once they see the data, once they see the practical sessions, there's no questions. They are surprised, and a lot of medical stuff and also oncology clinicians come to exercise sessions as well because they know
Well,
they need exercise for themselves,
yeah,
and therefore working together. It's a multidisciplinary approach, and when we can work together with oncology doctors, with exercise physiologists that have training in oncology, nutritional specialists, then it's a win-win. And also with the municipalities that we can very smoothly integrate in a community, just reflecting the way we do it here, and that seems to work well.
yeah, and thank you for mentioning now that this is in the guidelines, right? And they say what it takes 10 years from something to go into the guidelines to actually
Yeah.
get into clinical practice. So hopefully we can shorten that with people like us who love this space and feel strongly that this space can make such an impact in somebody's journey.
Mhm.
So kind of to wrap things up for today, what would you say is like one takeaway practical message for a listener, whether it's a patient, a caregiver, a clinician, of how they can actually apply this and just like where to get started?
Mhm. I'm not going to say the motivation is important. The knowledge and the information is important at the beginning, and then just practical application. I think that just the practical guidelines, practical starting position helps a lot because it gives a clarity to healthcare professionals. Okay, this is we operate and exercises are integrated in this direction. So there are specific structure and frame, and also that gives clarity to patients. So this is what the exercise experts expect from me, and they can explain why I have opportunity to try and feel within my body how it feels, and that is the starting point. Once the person, either the doctor or the patient, have understood and tried a little bit, then it gets easier. Then the flow happens naturally. And from the results, from the emotional well-being that you get during the exercise and after the exercise, it just
Yeah,
continues. It just continues. That is the starting point. I think right now, just posting another poster, the effect of exercise, it's good, it's necessary,
sure.
but we need action. We need action, and action is basically take your shoes and go outdoors.
We have
And
to bring the hype from social media with everyone posting about exercise oncology and then have
yes,
every one of those people put their shoes on and get outdoors
yeah,
and get moving.
exactly.
I love it.
100%, 100%.
Yeah,
And then it works. And we
sure.
brought it outdoors. We brought it outdoors, and we had like minus 10 degrees
Wow.
Celsius this morning, but it's beautiful winter here. But yeah,
My
still
goodness.
40 people showed up in the
Incredible.
different stages, and we did 60-minute exercise session.
Oh, such a cool experience.
Yeah.
Well, I learned so much today, and you got me wanting to put my shoes on and go outside right now. So I hope listeners have that
Mhm.
same experience and want to kind of get their body moving in whatever way, shape, and form that that looks like. And I loved the mindset change you discussed of this doesn't have to
Yeah.
be like a structured sport. You're not going out for an hour doing
Mm.
something with a whole team. It's really just, practical and targeted interventions that can support both the mental and emotional side of things,
Yeah.
as well as that physical and functional. Well, thank
Sure,
you.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it should not be complicated. And
yeah,
the results have showed if you don't know where to start, start with walking.
sure.
And it might seem simple. Okay, what's interesting about the walking? Yeah, but that's actually what is the fundamental thing in our human evolution. And if you can walk in an interval, start with 4 minutes, slower intensity, then 4 minutes, you walk faster, and you repeat this sequence 4 times, 2 times per week. That is a
Mm,
beautiful start, and that's going to give you so much. Either you go through the treatment or you want to do it as a
yeah.
preventative strategy or improve your VO2 max. It's beautiful.
That's super helpful. I think that's a really great place for people who are out there saying, what do I do
Mhm.
and where do I get started? I think that's a
Yeah,
great starting point for them. So thank you for that. And that's all
yeah.
for now. I'm Shelby Asesko, the founder of FU Cancer. Thanks so much for listening to this important episode centered around exercise oncology today.
The conversation doesn't end here. Join our community today at fucancer.health for trusted education, real community, and resources. We are here for you every step of the way.